We're like Cool and Aid. We're like Sugar and Tea. You know what? We're a dynamic duo.
It's true, and to be honest, I think they were better than us anyway. Yeah. They scored more points than we did. Yeah. Guys, thanks. We appreciate you guys coming down.
You know what? I'm taller than you guys. I'm Saul.
I'm Jester. I'm Matt.
And I'm Gabe.
And I'm also Blade.
And I'm also Laser.
And we're Razor.
And together we're
the
Dream Team.
Well, there you have it, the dynamic duo making the dreams come true of two of their very lucky fans. Like I said, like they said, they are peanut butter and jelly, and I don't think they should ever be separated. When we return, Seth and Coach Ronnie will dissect the first half of this game. Keep it here on Solar TV.
Using any which way to carve out the win, anchored mainly on 60% shooting from three-point distance. Rain or Shine is ahead 49-40 at lemon time, a term that is not really used that much anymore. You're laughing. Why are you laughing at lemon time? And it's time to discuss the halftime numbers. Go ahead.
We talked about the 60% shooting clip by Rain or Shine, and this was complemented by a very effective defense, keeping Ginebra under 50 points. And this is a squad that has averaged over 100 points over the last 3 games. And definitely, Rain or Shine has shot the ball much better than Ginebra, not only from the 2-point area, but on the entire field goal percentage from the 2 and from the 3. Free throws is something that Ginebra needs to focus on. They have averaged 30 free throws in the last 2 outings. The result, 2 straight wins for Ginebra, make that 4 straight wins for Ginebra. Rain or Shine shot really very highly from the free throw line, 75%. Offensive rebounds is one thing that Ginebra was able to dominate, but yung second chance scoring hindi naman nila masyadong nakuha. Let's see if Rain or Shine will be able to sustain the fine defensive efforts in the next 24 minutes, because Ginebra has shown over the last 4 games the kind of finishing kick that has enabled them to win 4 in a row over the last 4 outings.
You know, if you're Rain or Shine, of course you're into the weather, and then suddenly you know that the forecast from the other side is like a typhoon called Miller, Kagiwa, Brown. There may be no Meng today, but you know, you're scared when like Tubig was beginning to wax hot for Ginebra. It's an oncoming storm that you've just got to weather in the second half if you're Rain or Shine.
Definitely, Coach Jong Ichiko will make the necessary adjustments in terms of offense against the defense that he saw that Rain or Shine had in store for them heading to today's game. Let's take a look at the leading scorers. Norwood had 7 of his 11 points in the second quarter. While on the other side, Tubig had 9 points from the rainbow area. 9 out of those 10 points coming from the 3-point area.
Just one quick question, because you and I did that same game in Victorias. They were leading by 16, and we're talking about Rain or Shine. You don't think about that, I'm sure, not here today. But you're worried that might happen again. What can Rain or Shine do to prevent that from happening here today?
Number one, they have to sustain their defense, focus on making the necessary stops. They already have the advantage because Eric Menk is not playing. Therefore, your interior scoring ng Ginebra kulang na. But for Rain or Shine to really come out big here against Ginebra at the end game, they have to keep on attacking the basket, find the open man to be able to shoot at a very high clip for the entire duration of this ball game.
On the other hand, Ginebra, of course, wants to keep this game in their fold because they like to knock at that door, which is being held tightly shut by TNT as well as San Miguel. And we'll have the second half ready for you in just a short while. It is 49-40. The score, we will catapult from Rain or Shine with a 9-point lead. Just in time to start the third quarter of play. 49-40, as we mentioned, will be the springboard from where these two teams will catapult from. And in case you just joined us, switched over to Solar TV, Coca-Cola snapping a 7-game skid for the win earlier against Waraco Energy Coffee. That hook shot does not work as we start the second half of play.
And the one thing I have learned from observing over the many years that we have been here in the PBA is the fact that the first 20 more minutes is the unraveling of the game plan that you have laid out. The next 24 minutes will be on making the adjustments as compared to the other team. Yun ang nakikita natin. It's not how well you start the game, it's how well you finish.
Good point. And meanwhile, T.Y. Tang is off to a good game. He has 6 points. Big load on his shoulders, as Gino pointed out. He's going to carry a big bulk of the load at the point position tonight. And that is tapped away. 13 remaining on the Barangay Ginebra shot clock.
Once again, some inside presence being sorely missed here by Ginebra with the absence of Major Payne, Eric Menk.
T.Y. Tang going toe-to-toe with Eltebrand. That pass through the fingertips of their combo. 3-on-1 being fashioned out. Don't waste it. That seemed to be the message. Raynor Shine, and look at this bust out. And it's a full timeout as this lead is now the biggest of Raynor Shine, a 13-point margin. Hand it over to Gino Rufino, whose assignment tonight is Raynor Shine.
Thanks, Seb. Now, Coach Caloy Garcia told me at halftime that he did not remind his players about the last time these two teams played when they were leading all the way and ended up losing it in the fourth quarter. What he did tell them was they need to sustain the rebounding edge, which they are ahead 25-22. They also have to give the ball to Jai at the post as much as possible and also play their game, which is to run and gun. Guys?
That's a good piece of coaching as reported by Gino. You know, just move on, move on, move on. I guess that's the principle of life that we can all learn from. T.Y. Tang comes in from the blind side. This shot to the trailing Norwood could have been a dunk, but it's a foul that jams the flight of Norwood. He'll visit the free throw line instead.
2 quick turnovers for Ginebra in their first 3 possessions here in the third has enabled Raynor Shine to post a 13-point margin.
And talking of turnover, this is a good one. We send it over to Dominic.
Thank you, Sev. Coach Jong Yuchiko motivating his team and said, you know what, guys, the last time we were actually down by 16 points and we were able to come back. But the thing is, now let's not wait for the fourth quarter. Let's start early. He's trying to motivate his guys. Guys, we need to start playing now. We need to make a move now before this lead gets out of hand.
Interesting, contrasting reports from the two reporters. One said forget about that game, while the other one said let's remember that game and not think about it in terms of making a surge in the fourth. Let's do it now. It is now a 15-point lead, 55-40, the biggest enjoyed by Raynor Shine. Since you get the sense that history might be repeating itself. Of course, Raynor Shine hoping that history will not repeat itself in the fourth quarter. Here's Laure. Lewis looking for a shooter. Here's Aranya. His mode is simply attack. Lewis thought about it. Norwood thought about it. Tang, no thinking. Go, go, go. And here's what Aranya does best. Pick up the loose ball. That could have taken a lot of the wind out of the sails of Barangay Ginebra in the quarter. Had that gone in.
Would have been an 8-0 blast here at the start of the third, but Ginebra finally applying a defensive stop against Raynor Shine.
And we have Hatfield breaking up the inside with his first basket.
And some rare production from the interior, as Ginebra has been defended well from the perimeter by an effective tight guarding small men of the Elasto Painters.
Good trail job by Lewis of a twin high post play.
Yes, missed rotation. Some breakdowns in terms of the defensive coverage for Ginebra.
Everybody ended up following T.Y. Tang. And Lewis with the trail jump. Lewis with 10. Good move this time coming from Kagiwa, who's having a fine offensive game with 12 points.
And so far, the energy of Ginebra has been at that certain level na inaasahan nating umakyat at sumipa should they get a big run. But right now, what they need to do is keep this game closer than what we have right now. This is a 13-point bubble that Raynor Shine currently has.
Because so far, the strategy of Raynor Shine to shoot and try it from the outside has worked for them. And in the meantime, they're not just allowing Ginebra to have those fast break points. They jam the ball there with a foul that they could use.
And anytime you play against good fast breaking teams, you always want to know what your team foul situation is. You have to foul for profit and not allow the team to have spectacular plays, because those are the type of plays that Ginebra really feeds off.
Who did they give the foul to? To Tan? To Tan, yes. So T.Y. Tan with that personal. Hatfield angled the